Thank you for visiting Past the Wire TV, the YouTube channel of PastTheWire.com.
Computing outside, Classic Empire, head-to-head, down to the line. Cloud Computing wins the Preakness.
Reach the starting gate, it's post time. Cold front, Pedro comes forward. And they're into the stretch, cold front, put to the 10. Cold front does it again. Right in the field of the Amsterdam.
Buongiorno everybody, Saratoga Today with Past the Wire, day 38 of the Saratoga meet, which is rapidly coming to a close. 2 more racing days left after today. We'll be back both days looking for those spots and see what we can come up with. Jockey Club Gold Cup today, a couple of other stakes. We'll talk about all of them, and we'll talk about a maiden race I think is very interesting on the card as well. You know, the Jockey Club Gold Cup, I remember it being run at 2 miles. I remember it being run at 1.5 miles. I remember it being one of the premier, and I mean premier stake races of the year for a long, long time. Very prestigious race. Somehow lost some of that luster. Now it's 1.25 miles. Just a little bit of a reflection of how much the game has changed. And now they're running it at Saratoga for the first time that I can remember. I don't think it's ever been run at Saratoga, but we know I don't look that stuff up, but I don't think it has. And they're trying to, I guess, regain some of the unfortunately lost luster of the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Didn't draw a big field. You know, and we've seen that. We've got 6 horses in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, and we've seen that in a lot of the stakes past couple of years, this year particularly, at Saratoga particularly. Again, another sign of how things in the racing game have changed, and not necessarily for the better or the better. But we played a hand that we're dealt. This is what it is. It's still a heck of a nice race. I don't know if this year's running is going to regain any of the lost stature of the Jockey Club Gold Cup, but let's hope it does. And I think it's an interesting race. We'll attack that a little bit later. Shout out to our friends that make these videos possible for us to do, and that's Amwager, Zilla Racing Stables, and Spendthrift Farm, and just can't say enough about all 3 of them. All excel at what they do, and that's just good for the game and good for the sport and good for all of us. Interesting card. Weather looks okay, which is good. We had a rainy meet. Sometimes that happens at Saratoga. We lost a lot of grass racing, but we're here. We're in the fight. That High Oak Day carried us a long, long way, and we'll see him again on Monday in the Hopeful. And let's see what we got today. A couple of interesting races, a couple of stakes. One baby race early on the card. Well, I say baby, I mean maidens, not really babies. 2-year-olds are the babies. This is just a maiden race. But I thought the 3rd race was a very, very interesting maiden special weight race at Saratoga. For those of you who remember, we had Peter Walder on the show. He was talking about how high he was on number 3, Sticky Issue, which he thought was a really, really good horse, and he had some lofty expectations for. Horse didn't run well that day with Ricardo Santana. but really threw a fit in the paddock. I spoke to Peter about it, and he said, it was Saratoga, it was crowded, there was a lot going on, really got to the horse, really got to his head, got very nervous, worked up, was, really having a difficult time with everything, and probably left his race in the paddock. He schooled him quite a bit since then in the paddock, worked with him. He's worked really well, especially the last work was a really, really good work. So I think he can come back and run a much better race than the 7th by 12 that he did last time out. The problem is, this is Saratoga, and you catch bears in these fields, and I have a feeling that there is one in here, and it's a horse that I liked last time out that I thought had a terrible trip, and if not for the terrible trip, probably would have won the race. That's Cody's Wish, who's probably going to be the favorite here, but I'm not even sure that he's going to be the favorite, but I think he will. He is on the morning line, but I think Chad's horse, the 7s, are going to take a lot of money right into him. They both come out of the same race, the Vindictive race. Vindictive came back to win a nice allowance race a couple of days ago. And is a nice prospect for Todd Pletcher, and there's talk that he's a serious racehorse. So that being the case, I think Cody's Wish with a good trip could have beat him. Now that was 1 1/8 miles. He cuts back to 7/8. He ran good going 7/8 first time out, but he's working. I've watched his works. He's working as good, in my opinion, as he was, maybe even better for that July 28th race. Hopefully Bill Motz worked with him a little bit, got him a little bit more focused, got his head in the game a little better, and I suspect he's going to run a really, really big race today. If he doesn't, then I'm going to say, you know what? He's one of those hype, morning glory, always find an excuse kind of horses, and I'll probably jump off his bandwagon faster than I got on it. But I got a feeling he's going to be a handful today on the cutback to 7/8, and I'm hoping they bet Pipeline into him really, really hard. Pipeline ran Vindictive to a head and ran a really, really big race, has the benefit of cutting back to 7/8 off that 1 1/8 the same way Cody's Wish does. But if I believe in my heart that Cody's Wish, had he not broke slow, not been ranked, not made that ridiculous, huge early middle move that I thought was ill-timed, if I think he could have won that race with a better trip and just different circumstances, I got to like him better than Pipeline. So I hope they bet Pipeline into him. If Peter wins the race, I'll be very, very happy, because it's a tough race. Even Safi Joseph's horse, and Safi's ice cold at like 1 for 40 or something like that, 1 for 37, 38, I think, just under 40, maybe even 40. He's got, I think, 6 or 7 seconds, but only 1 win for the meet so far. I'd have to say that's ice cold for that barn. But that Ubiquitous is a horse that also I've watched work up there and is working very, very, very well, and looks like a runner, So I think it's a very interesting race. I'm going to stick with the horse that I liked last time. Hopefully they bet a couple into him, and if he loses, hopefully it's to my brother Peter. Love to see him get another win at Saratoga before they pack it in. He did get that 1 win up there. Had a bit of a rough meet, but he's been in the fight. He's got 1 win, 2 3 seconds, 2 3/3. So, it's tough. Saratoga's tough. It's no joke. But we'll see what happens in that one. The 5th race is the first stake on the card, the Grade 2 Purists. Another short field, six horses with a 6 to 5 morning line favorite that I'm going to take a shot to beat. We'll run down the field real quick. The Filly on the Rail, Pennsylvania bred, run 2 races at Parks. Parks is a quirky, funny track, can be really, really fast and play really fast. and this filly's run really fast over it. But what I like about her here is looks like she gets the lead from the rail with Irad. So 6 furlongs, gets the lead. Uh, I'll ride the speed with the Pennsylvania bred that might be cheap, never really beat anything at all. Did win by 18 and 10, respectively, but against absolutely nothing that would be competitive here. So she may very well get inhaled, but if the track is playing to speed and she gets out there, sometimes you can't beat what you can't catch and they forget to stop. I don't think Edie, Meeny, Miny, Mo, although I find it odd that Victor Espinosa comes into rider, but I don't think that even with the blinkers on, she'll be fast enough to stay with Oksana early. I don't think Little Tootsie will. I looked long and hard at Scylla, the Louisiana bred. Nice horse, puts up some big numbers. Has a good pattern to go forward again, but again, I'll take the speed. And you know, she's won more races and been in more races and has more experience than Oksana, but I don't really know that she's beaten anything either. Amendment 19 is interesting. I think she's probably at the end of the day the best horse in the race, but at 6 furlongs, Caramel Swirl, who beat her pretty good last time out, did not come back to win the other night at Charlestown and the West Virginia Derby undercard. She's got a lot of potential, a lot of upside. Juddmonte Constitution filly out of a Carson City mare, but cutting back to 6 off that race, I think is a lot to ask for her today. Her numbers are slower than some of the others in here, so I'll take a shot against her, even though I think she can very easily wind up the best horse in this race down the road. Super Sensational is going to be the favorite, should be, coming off a strong second in the test to Bella Sophia, who just ran lights out, beat Search Results, who I liked that day, who's a heck of a nice filly. You know, she's been in 3 grade 2s, a grade 3, a grade 1. She's won at 6.5 at Belmont in what I thought was a pretty nice race. Her numbers are right there. No knock, except that I think the one might be able to get away from her. So if that can happen, maybe we can beat her at a short price. I don't know. But she's legit, she's dangerous, and we'll just see how that goes. Moving right along, the next stake on the card is the grade 3 Saranac. And that might be my biggest bet today. I like Founder, Chad's other horse. Chad's going to be the favorite with Public Sector at probably even money. No knock there whatsoever. I mean, you know, you just the horse win first time out at Saratoga, run second in the grade 2 Pilgrim right out of that race. Gets jostled around early in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf at Keeneland. I'm willing to forgive that. Comes back off that layoff to the 3-year-old year. Runs second. Comes back and wins with Pratt. Then gets beat ahead to a speed horse, wire to wire, Pratt Road. Pratt coming again to ride at Saratoga, win the Hall of Fame grade 2. Just going in the right direction. Looks tough, legitimate, worthy favorite. But I'll tell you why I'm going to bet against him when we get to Founder. Like the King, Derby runner, back on the turf. I don't know, looks a cup below Chad's horses to me, although wouldn't be a shock to me. And I think that the horse may ultimately be a turf horse, but I'm not even sure of that, to tell you the truth. Best races look like they were on the synthetic, so we'll see. He's Pure Gold, coming off 2 nice wins against Jersey breds. These are not Jersey breds. I think he's in over his head. Never Surprised. Very interesting horse in here. Very, very dangerous. Off a layoff for Todd, but win those first two starts at Aqueduct on the grass, then run second at Gulfstream in a decent grade 3, the Kitten's Joy, the Chess Stream. Got a feeling this one's coming back ready and dangerous. Big numbers on this horse for this. He's dangerous, but I lean to the 5, and I'll tell you why. Founder broke his maiden first time out Saratoga on the dirt. Thought enough of the horse to put him in a grade 1 Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland. Didn't run that well, but was in there with essential quality. I hear he's pretty good. Come back, run 7/8 of a mile against Mandaloon. Ran third. I hear he's pretty good too. Didn't run good in the Keeneland allowance race off the layoff. Maybe needed that race. I notice he's a Ridgeling, not a gelding, so I find that interesting and a little bit telling in here. But then they put him on the turf, okay? And on a yielding turf at Belmont in a race that Public Sector won, he just had a horrendous trip, was making up ground, taking up, just a really, really horrible trip. Runs back in an off-the-turf race, very, very wide, and closes for second in the slop at Belmont. Then goes to Monmouth in a little stake, the Tail of the Cat Stakes, and just runs by everybody and wins. Now comes back in this spot. I think this is a grass horse. I think that's what he's wanted all along. I think the fact that they made him a Ridgeling, not a gelding, is a little bit telling. And I think that with a better trip, even though that was a yielding turf course, he could have given Public Sector all that he could have handled that particular day. So if Public Sector's odds on, and this horse is 4-5 to 1, he won on the firm turf course. Now he gets the firm turf course. Hopefully he doesn't get that trouble trip. I think he's very, very dangerous. And I think he can win the race. And I'll probably be playing him and looking to get the other Chad home in the Saranac. The next stake is the Flower Bowl, and there's going to be a very, very heavy favorite in that race that looks like a bear and a half. Just a filly that just keeps winning. She's 5-6, Warlike Goddess. She's 4-5 on the morning line, and I'm going to bet against her. Can she win? Absolutely. Deserving favorite? Absolutely. She runs into paceless races and runs by everybody like they're standing still. But she's going to do that every time. I don't know. She's going to get into some trouble or get beaten. Something's going to happen to her sooner or later. Obviously, they've got Breeders' Cup on their mind with her, but I'm going to take a shot that today's the day that something happens to her, as far as a troubled trip or coming too late or going too wide or, Le Peru just making a wrong move, which any rider can do. I don't want to single him out. So we'll look at the horses and I'll tell you where I land. La Signar, nice horse, grade 1 type horse, but doesn't kind of get it done. Coming out of some good fields, always there, always around the money. Again, without really getting it done. Will this little extra ground make the difference? Maybe. I think she's got a shot. She's not where I land, but she definitely would not shock me. And she hasn't faced the favorite yet, so maybe, the new face could maybe beat her. American Bridge comes in from France. Peter Brandt horse. Probably will stay here in the U.S. with Chad Brown, who trains for Peter over here. Watch some of her replays. She's okay. I don't think she's all that. She'll probably improve with Chad, but, and Claudine Rouget is a fantastic trainer. ARC winner, just great trainer, but I don't know. She didn't look like the best of the best over there. Irad rides her. Definitely will handle the distance, but I don't know. she's I don't know. I just didn't think she was running against the best over there, and I don't like her today. Maybe next time. Warlike Goddess again comes, brings it. No doubt about it. She'll probably come and bring it again, but hopefully a little too late, or a little too soon, or a little too wide, or a little too slow. Who knows? But she can run by them all again for sure. Uh, you know, you got to take a shot and try and beat some of these chalky horses sometimes. Last week at Travers Day, it didn't work out. Maybe today it will. I would have liked Sister Nat an awful lot. Half to my sister Charlie, or even a full, I'm not sure. But, she's a grade one type. She's knocking on the door. But she moved before Warlike Goddess. Warlike Goddess ran her over last time out. She likes Saratoga. She's dangerous, but I'm going to go to a different horse because Warlike Goddess just inhaled her. Lovely Lucky probably sets the pace in here. I love to take a speed play. I don't think she's good enough. I think they'll inhale her when the real running starts, but speed's always scary. I land on Great Island, Chad's other horse again. I'm on two of Chad's other horses, but well, I don't know. Can we say Great Island is the other horse from my sister Nat? I don't know. Well, it is the other horse. I just don't know which one's going to get bet more. I have a feeling it's going to be my sister Nat, even though I'm landing over here. I've thought Great Island was a runner since I first saw her. I think she's a very game, tough, competitive horse. I think she's coming into her own. And I think maybe the extra distance, she's never been this far. She's never been further than 1.1 miles, I think may really, really help her. I love the way she finished in the matchmaker. I like her pattern on Thorograph of the 2-3 point progressive forward moves last couple of starts. That's an angle that I always look for. Like the workouts, like that she's lightly raced, and I'm going to land here and hope that extra distance and a one of those really good strong rides from Joel Rosario, which we know he can do, is going to get this lightly raced and still improving 5-year-old mare up first at the wire and upset heavy favorite Warlike Goddess. We'll see. Costana, nice filly, getting thrown to the wolves here off a nice win. Handles the distance, we know that. I think has upside, but I don't think is ready for these just yet. But I wouldn't say that she might not be down the road, but today's the day we're talking about, and I don't think she's ready just yet. Brings us to the finale, the Jockey Club Gold Cup. I'll say this. This has been a strange year for me handicapping at Saratoga, and I'll tell you why. There's been at least 4 or 5 times that I've looked at races, and no matter how much I've looked at them and how much I've studied and dissected them, I've flip-flopped on my opinion. And that's so rare for me. I've been doing this for so many years, and that so rarely happens. Usually, I do the race, I've got my opinion, and I don't look back, and I'm kind of dialed in. And of course, we're all wrong more than we're right, but it's rare for me to flip back and forth. And I've done that, and I think I've spoken about it on a couple of the shows, on a couple of different races, that I couldn't make up my mind, or I was on this one, that one, the other one. And it happened again here in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. I really thought I was going to like Forza de Oro. I like the horses that are improving. I like to bet horses to do what they're going to do, not what they've done. Think the horse has a fantastic pattern to go forward again. And I really think this race comes down to the rider. I think it's between Happy Saver and Forza de Oro, and I think it's going to be won in the first 16th or 8th of a mile by who gets more aggressive and who rides the smarter race. Because I think those are the two pace players, and I don't think either one is going to come back to the field, or at least the one that goes on is one of them is not going to come back. I don't think they're going to be able to close into just these two speeds. And if one gets clear, I think he's going to be very dangerous. And I was originally sure that was going to be Forza de Oro, but I'm not so sure. And after really dissecting it, I'm not so sure that even if he does, Irad can't stay close enough to just outgame him in the stretch anyway. So that's really how I see the race. I think that it's going to be won very early on, and it's going to be either by Junior Alvarado or Irad Ortiz. Now, you guys know and gals know that I like Junior. I think he's a great rider. I think he's tough, aggressive, a strong finisher. He hasn't had the best meet. Irad gets in the zone on these days, and he might just have the better horse here. I'm not sure of that. And like I said, I flip flop between those two. I don't think anybody else can win it. Max Player, was it Steve Asmussen or the slop last time? I'm going to say it was the slop. I mean, he's always had potential, but usually comes from way out of it. He was closer to the pace last time than usual. I think that's because of the way the track was. On a fast track, I think Happy Saver beats him. I don't think Chess Chief is good enough. Although we know Dallas Stewart pops up in these type of races at big prices. This horse can close and get a piece. I don't think he can close and win. Happy Saver, lost that one race in the slop. Before that, he was undefeated. I think he's very well managed. He beat Mystic Guide and Tacitus. They're not the best in the world, but they're better than anything that Forza de Oro has beat. So Forza de Oro, we're taking on the come a little bit, where Happy Saver has a little bit more oomph to his resume at this point. Night Ops, nice horse, good numbers, serious player, but I think a cut below. I mean, he's run against Silver State by my standards. He's run with some good ones, Art Collector, Dr. Post, but doesn't usually beat those kind. And I think that Happy Saver might be able to beat those kind. And Forza de Oro, if he's as good as I suspect he might be able to beat those kind. But today, I'm leaning to Happy Saver when I originally thought I was going to lean to Forza de Oro. But I think I wouldn't talk anybody out of either one of those races, either one of those horses. And if you're betting multi-race wages, there's nothing wrong with being alive with those two if you get some prices leading up into that race. I mean, obviously, if Warlike Goddess wins and you're alive with those two, unless some fluky results happened early, you're in a little bit of trouble. But the way I'm going to approach it with, Founder starting off the pick 5 and, looking to beat Warlike Goddess, maybe I could use the two of them. I probably won't because I'm stubborn, and I have that philosophy of when you're right, get paid, and when you're wrong, just live to fight another day. I'm okay with cashing less tickets to win more money. A lot of people are not okay with that. I approach it as a marathon and play to make scores, and I'm okay with days where that does not happen. So I don't know if I'm going to use both or just one, and we'll see. But again, it's been a strange meet for me with the flip-flopping back and forth because 2 days ago, if you asked me which way I was leaning in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, I would have told you Mott's horse I think is going to go wire to wire, but I'm just not sure anymore, and I'm leaning more. The more I get into it, and the more I dissect it, and the more I watch the replays and do everything that I do to try and form a decent opinion in these races, I lean to Irad on Happy Saver to get the money in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. We'll see how that plays out. 2 more days, we'll be back. Hopefully, we'll be doing more shows in the future on some of the big days and maybe even some of the big meets. Hopefully, God willing, we'll be doing this again in 2022 Saratoga Today. It'll be Saratoga tomorrow in the morning. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Go get them today. Win the photos, get the right trips, make the right moves. Always rooting for all the people that watch this show. I've been getting a lot of questions emailed to me, messaged to me. I welcome them all. I answer them all as best I could. If I don't know the answer, I'll try and get it for you. Thank you for all the support. Appreciate the kind words. Appreciate the support. Love the interaction. You know, we don't go to the track as much as we used to. We bet through the phones and the computers and whatnot. So it's nice to have the interaction and camaraderie and bouncing ideas and thoughts off of each other. I appreciate it. I enjoy it. I hope all of you do as well. I try to make myself as accessible as possible until it's time to put my game face on and, you know, go after the races that I'm going to go after. But that's all we got for today. Hope you enjoyed the Jockey Club Gold Cup show. We will reconvene in the morning. So ciao for now. Nobody does it better.